Hi everyone, welcome to Duality Repair. This is Carver's M-400 amplifier. This one is suffering from a problem that even Carver was aware of, and they called it ticking. So although this unit does pass an audio signal, you can hear an audible ticking coming from within inside the unit and also to a certain extent through the speakers as well. So I'll plug it in and I'll put the microphone closer to the unit so you can hear what I'm talking about. Like other Carver amplifiers, the M400 is Triac controlled, meaning it uses a Triac to regulate the power supply. Critical to proper power supply performance is proper Triac firing. And as you can see from the service manual, improper Triac firing, or what they call rough Triac firing, can lead to the ticking noise that we're currently experiencing. So you can see we have some graphs here as well, and we have an example of good and symmetrical firing, as well as bad and rough firing. Now I've already tested the Triac in this module, and I've also compared it to a Triac in another Carver module, and this one certainly does appear to have a problem firing the Triac. So let's go to the scope. Alright, here's our setup. I have channel A of my scope hooked up to MT2 of the Triac from the TF-M45 that I recently repaired, and channel B is hooked up to MT2 of the Triac of the M400. Let's start with the TF-M45, as that is our good example. If we look at the trace on the scope for the TF-M45, we can see it's pretty close to matching the good or symmetrical graph from the service manual. The Triac is firing from about 0 volts to just a little bit past the peak on the positive half cycle, and again from 0 volts and just a little bit past the peak on the negative half cycle as well. So very, very close, very symmetrical, very clean and smooth firing. So now I'll plug in the M400 so we can compare. Alright, so the M400 signal is now on the bottom, and hopefully you can tell just how glitchy that Triac is firing. Even if I change the trigger source from channel A to channel B, which is the M400, it certainly doesn't make the M400 signal look any better, and it really just screws up the TF-M45 signal. So we can see there's definitely a problem with the way the Triac's firing. Now, it's not necessarily the Triac that's causing this. It could be something else associated with the regulation circuitry. Due to how tightly packed everything is in this unit, it's very hard to test in place. So I'm going to start disassembling everything so we can test. I was successful in completely disassembling the unit. It's made up of just 3 boards: the power supply board, 2 nearly identical amplifier modules, and of course the power transformer. Everything on this unit seems to be original, so at the very least I'm going to replace all of the electrolytics. Now I could get lucky and that might fix the ticking issue, but due to the amount of time and effort that it takes to disassemble this unit, I'm not going to gamble on that. And so I'm going to do everything that I possibly can now while it's disassembled before I reinstall and test. And so next, I'm going to look at some of the critical components that are inside the regulation section of the supply. The first thing I'm going to test is the Triac. Now I'll tell you up front that regardless of how it tests, I am going to replace it with this brand new Triac. I'm going to do that because, again, this is probably original, which means it's nearly 40 years old, and because the Triac is so critical to proper power supply performance. So it does detect the Triac. It gives you the pinout. It gives you the trigger current range, so in this case 10 to 25 milliamps. It gives you the gate voltage at which it triggered, so 0.98 volts at 25 milliamps, and it also gives you the load conditions as well. So this Triac does test good, but again, due to its age and due to the criticality to the proper performance of the power supply, I am going to replace it with this. And I will put the list of part numbers that I used during this repair in the description. I'm sure that if I didn't measure and compare the new Triac to the old, I'd get a lot of comments. So we have identical trigger current range, 10 to 25 milliamps. Close gate voltage, 0.94 volts versus 0.98 on the original. And of course the same load conditions. So this should work just fine. I'm going to move backwards from the Triac now and check the diac. With a multimeter in circuit, pretty much the only thing I can do is verify that it's not shorted. No, it doesn't look to be shorted. Now I'm going to check these 3 resistors. Here's R10, pretty close at 132K. Here's R9, almost dead on at 99K. And here's R57, right on the money at 51K. So these three resistors check out. Here's the last component that I was seriously concerned about in the power supply section. This is OC1, which is an LDR, or light dependent resistor. It wasn't really measuring as I thought it should when it was in the circuit, so I removed it and I tested it, and it's actually testing normally. So we'll go through that now. What this is it's an LED on this side, and I have that connected to my power supply, and a light dependent resistor on this side. As you increase the current through the LED, you decrease the resistance of the light dependent resistor. So I'll slowly increase the current through the LED now, and we'll watch the resistance go from open, and it'll gradually decrease. So it'll take a minute to turn the LED on. We need about 1.6 volts to turn the LED on. And there it goes. I kind of overshot it there. So we're down to 2K already on the resistor. I'll gradually increase the current, and you can see the resistance is gradually decreasing. So this LDR seems to be functioning just fine. Everything that I was really concerned about seems to check out. Again, you can't really fully test the diac with just a multimeter, so I am going to replace that just in case that was a problem. I'm going to start removing all of the electrolytics, and I'm going to do a more thorough inspection of the power supply board. If I happen to find anything, I will show you what I found. If not, I'll just come back when I replace the caps, the Triac, and the diac. Alright, I'm completely done recapping the power supply, and I think it turned out really well. In the course of recapping this, I've also discovered a significant problem, a problem that I believe is the source of the ticking, so I'll go over that now. Here are the two filter caps for the plus and minus 80 volt rails. On the left, I'm measuring capacitance, and you can see we're in the nanofarad range, while these caps should be 4,000 microfarads. On the right, I'm measuring the ESR, and you can see the ESR of this cap is beyond the measurable limit of the meter, so these caps are just toast. They've been effectively useless in this circuit for who knows how long. So how could this cause our ticking issue? Well, of course, the purpose of a filter cap is to filter or smooth out pulse DC before it sends it out to the rail. And the regulation circuitry samples all three rails, plus 12, plus 50, and plus 80 volts. So it's assuming that it's going to have solid DC coming into that regulation circuitry. Since these caps aren't functioning properly, we're sending pulse DC to the regulation circuitry on the 80 volt rail, and that's definitely going to screw up our regulation. I have no doubt that if these caps aren't the only factor in the ticking, they're definitely a significant factor. Alright, I've finished recapping both of the amplifier modules. There are only 4 caps on each. Everything else looks to be in really good shape on these, so I didn't touch anything else. I did clean off the excess thermal compound, or what I could anyway. I also cleaned off the excess thermal compound on the chassis itself. And I think I'm ready to go ahead and reinstall everything. Before I reinstall the output transistors, I am going to clean off the thermal compound. I'll test each one of these to make sure none of them are shorted, and then of course reapply new thermal compound before installing. And just like that, everything is back together, and I think it looks really nice. The unit's plugged in and it's virtually silent, no more ticking, so we know that those two filter caps were definitely the source of the issue. I have my multimeter connected to the collector of one of the output transistors, and as you can see, we're reading very close to 75.5 volts DC, and that's exactly what the spec is. To get there, you adjust this little pot here, RP1. I've already verified the biases are in spec as well, so before I put the covers on, let's go back to the scope and take a look at the trace of the Triac firing. Alright, our Triac firing now looks much healthier, so let's get the covers back on and we'll do a final sound test. Okay, I've been listening to this for a while now and it's sounding really, really good, so this one is all done. Thanks for watching.